Anton Chekov was born in Tagnara, Russia, to Pavlo and it's Yevna. Interesting fact is that his middle name, like all Russian middle names, reflect the father's first name, as you can see. So for boys, the ending would be V-I-C-H or Ovich, O-V-I-C-H, and this is different in girls. Their ending is Evna or Ovna. Yeah. Like my middle name doesn't reflect my father's, it reflects my uncle's, but it's Alexeyevna. So Chekov wrote many plays and short stories, and he got this idea from his childhood hardships. To truly understand Chekov, obviously, you have to understand his childhood. His father was a grocer, and he struggled with bringing in the income for his family. He was a musically inclined man and conducted a choir, which he encouraged his son to join. Also, it says that his father was a serf, but when I was doing the readings for this class, it said his grandfather was a serf, so I'm confused. So Chekov attended his early years of school at a Greek school and finished his education at high school, which was 10 years. They call it high school. We would probably consider it as a secondary school. During the last 3 years of his education, his parents moved to the capital of Russia now, which is Moscow. At the time, that was not the capital, St. Petersburg was. In 1979, he moved there, and he went to Moscow University for medicine. He got his doctorate degree, and then he became a journalist to support his family while his father was bankrupt. When Chekov was in his 20s, his first work was published in the capital of Russia, which is St. Petersburg, as I said. They moved the capital a few times in Russia. It was in Kiev, Moscow, and then St. Petersburg. Now it's back in Moscow. They moved it to St. Petersburg during the reign of Peter the Great. So in the year of 1888, he published a work called The Steppe, which is in the Ukrainian plains, and about crossing the Ukrainian plains. This work was written from the perspective of a child, and it got a literary review. In 1887 to 1889, he wrote Ivanov. In Russia, you would pronounce Ivanov, yes. Sorry. So Chekov would take a trip to the Russian penal settlement, where he would travel in carriage and riverboat. This trip gave him inspiration to write The Island of Shelin. So there was a great famine during the year 1891, which is the Milikovo period. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. So he was going to work as a doctor, and he did not charge the poor Russian people for their pay, and the village life is very poor, and their culture is basically drinking, alcohol, smoking. I'm not sure if they had that back then, but now it is. I come from the village side. Those who live in the city were the ones who have the money. That is true to this day. I know that. So when he was in the village, he wrote the peasants and the neighbors. So interestingly enough, traditionally, the amount of windows in your home, or your dasha, which is the summer home, reflected your status. I'm not sure if that's true today, but that was traditionally. I can see how it's still true today, but I'm not sure. So in 1997, Chekov suffered a hemorrhage, which caused bronchitis. So he sold his property in Mekhalov, and he went to the Yalta, which is in Crimea. I'm not sure if that country exists still. There's a lot of Russian countries that don't exist now. Anyways, he spent many winters there, and he wrote plays, and some of them are The Cherry Orchard and The Three Sisters. It was not until World War II that he became internationally known for his works. And Actually, 40 years after his death, he was scholarly worthy. Now, we are going to play a little game.